Welcome back, my shivering shortbreads. We are here live for the first time. Well, okay, that's not true. Like, it's not our first time being live per se. It is, however, our first time doing like a live stream on an episode. Or, well, I guess this isn't I don't know. Are we calling this an episode? Like, oh wait, why can't I hear you? Oh no. You sound real. Oh, you sound quiet because I need to turn my headphones up. That makes so much sense. That's on me. Oh wait, the stream can't hear you. Hold on. Why can they not hear you? Hold on. Can I overwrite this? Talk.
Hello? Hello?
There we
Hello?
go.
Hello? All right.
There we go. I got it. Don't worry, guys.
Big exciting stuff. Big exciting stuff.
I fixed it. We're good. We're good.
You love to hear it.
All right. Everyone who's here in chat, do we sound good? Jackson sound good? I sound good? What's
Chickadee check 1 2 posting on Instagram, letting the world know we are live.
Yeah. You guys will get to hear a different side of Jackson tonight because I can't cover up his internet sucking with editing. So that's okay
Sorry.
though. Forget we ball, you know.
Sorry.
We yeah, we're here. This is weird. Like
we're so here.
Jackson's a bit quiet.
Yeah.
All right, don't worry.
No, it's okay. I'm working on it.
I got you. Well, I can turn you up over here too. Like, so you don't even have to change anything.
Is that hello? Is that
check 1 2?
louder? Is that better? Chickadee check 1 2.
Buckle my shoe.
Yeah.
3 4.
You're
Shut
both
the
beautiful.
door. Thank you.
1 2. Buckle my shoe. I'm so happy to be here.
3
Good
4.
job. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited to be here. I guess this is our first like discussion stream.
Yeah, because we're normally like playing
so
games
funny.
or something.
Which is so funny because I am normally so like, I don't know. I feel like on a podcast we're so like professional, I guess, like put together.
Yeah.
Professional, wrong word. I feel like we're so like put together, and then this is so like, well, how y'all doing?
Here we are. Hey guys, what's up, chat?
But this is such a perfect topic to do live because I'm really interested in what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are on this new episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. I think people will probably trickle in and out, so I don't know if you want to just like jump in or.
I have this little cane. I got all my digital circus stuff here. I got this cane figure. He sits like right on top of my camera, and then of course I have my digital circus shirt. Listen, I don't think you guys are gonna like what I have to say this episode. I have some controversial opinions.
If anyone like just off the gate has like digital circus hot take, digital circus like first impression, like just drop it. Just put it in that chat because I'm so here for it. And we said it on the last episode that has not released yet.
Nope.
So this is
I did finish editing it though.
Okay, good.
So it's done.
There's no AI here because artificial intelligence will never take over our natural stupidity, and I stand by that.
Okay, here's the thing. I am not the fan that Michael Kovac talked about pissing off. I swear. It's not me. I'm actually not upset. Okay, so just off the cuff, this should be pretty
off the cuff.
Understood. Apparent. Spoilers for the Amazing Digital Circus episodes 1 through 7. I'm so used to saying 6.
1 through 6 or 7.
1 through 6 or 7. What can I say? We got to stop. Someone's gonna comment about that.
Okay. We did get a comment because our last episode was episode 167. And we got a comment today that was literally just 6 7. And I was like, right after you said like, thank you for, you literally told me like, thank you for restraining yourself and not saying like episode 6 7.
Yeah.
And then someone just had to bring it up and ruined it. So
did you
anyway?
Did you read or look at any of like the comments this week from from the after show episode that went out about Tropic Thunder?
No.
No,
Was it
some
bad?
of those likes are awful, or the comments are awful.
That's so funny.
I want you to know that is one of our highest like to dislike ratios ever.
Really? On Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
That was just a random after show episode.
I guess people didn't like what we had to say about it. Like, it's 3 likes to 19 dislikes.
Well, didn't we pretty much just be like, it's fine. Like, but like,
yeah, like, it was all right.
Eggs.
My favorite comment was the one I sent you earlier this week.
Yes. I love, yeah. From Easy Peasy 2938, because if you leave a public comment, I will hold you to it. Said, I watched the Nerdiest after show, so you don't have to. Do yourself a favor. Watch Film Theory or Nerd Writer instead. Boring. And then Nick responded as the podcast and said, wow, it's almost like we're a podcast and not a theory channel. And then he replied and he said, a really crappy podcast then. Nick replied again and he said, you still commented, so thanks for the engagement. So,
listen. That's not my problem. Like,
it's not,
it can't be that bad if you felt inclined to leave a comment and say like, "Oh, boo."
Listen, I think Connor Price said it best, and it's just that funny how your 2 cents becomes my profits, and I will just
Amen.
I will never live that down. I will never live that down. So yeah. Anyway.
Tadek.
I mean, do you have hard transition, but like
hard transition just
or I mean, I could go on about something else if you'd like.
I mean, sure, go for it. This is like,
okay, you know what genuinely pisses me off? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this because yesterday I went to the movie theater and I watched Zootopia 2 a second time because it's genuinely that good. Like, if you've seen it, you know that it is one of the best movies of the year. Phenomenal. So we saw that.
Anyway, I popped up. I'm trying to fix something on my stream deck, and it popped up on the thing. You guys weren't supposed to see that.
I just saw it. Yeah, we went to see the Zootopia 2 a second time, and Zootopia 2 got moved to the big theater. Or to the small theater. Zootopia 2 is in the smaller theater because I didn't realize this was the opening weekend for Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Oh, that's so sad.
And so the Avatar movie was in the big theater. And I don't know if have you seen the Doomsday release schedule?
No.
So what they're doing is they have created 4 different trailers for Avengers Doomsday. 4 different trailers.
Gross.
And they will be playing after Avatar as the end scene of Avatar: Fire and Ash. And the Avengers Doomsday trailer 1 is out now after Fire and Ash. And next week, the second trailer will be at the end of the movie. And then the week after that, the third trailer. So they're trying to get you to re-watch Avatar 4 times.
No, thank you. I'm good.
So that it can become an even bigger box office giant. I just think that's terrible because the reviews are pretty much like, yeah, it's fine. Like, because the critics' reviews are not great. They're kind of like, yeah, we don't really know what's going on, but then the audience reviews are really high. And so it's kind of this like Avatar has this diehard fan base, but my thing is I'm like, where are they? Who is the Avatar fans? I have never met someone who is like diehard Avatar to be like, yeah, I'll see it in the theater 4 times. Who are these people? Like, if it's you, please reveal yourself because this feels like a scam to me.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing. Logan, I see you in the chat.
Yeah.
People just watch it on YouTube. That's the thing, is they're not releasing them on YouTube. Like, and they're copyright striking anyone who like rips like, old school records and distributes because they want you to go see this movie, which like, this is the thing we're getting tight on piracy with. Like, this is where we draw the line. Like, it's okay when someone screen rips all of Elio. Like, that's no biggie. But, how dare you take that Avengers Doomsday trailer?
Doomsday. Well, that's the other thing is, like I'm... part of me, we were leaving the theater for Zootopia. We were leaving. And I was like, what if I just, like, popped in for the last, like, 30 minutes, watched the trailer, and left? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if I just went to see a different movie and timed it so that Avatar would be over when I'm leaving, and then I can just like peep the trailer and then go. From what I've heard, the trailer does confirm that Chris Evans is coming back as Captain America, though. I'm like, that's so stupid. Like,
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You know, we'll be sat here next year doing a Doomsday review episode, though.
Right? No, for real. Genuinely, like, we've been talking about this. Like, when we're building the schedule for the show, it was so much easier. It was so much easier to build a calendar for a nerd podcast when Marvel and Star Wars were doing like 4 movies a year.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, we could talk about this Marvel, this Star Wars show, this, that, this. And now we're like trying to figure, because we're like, well, we got to do what we're hyped for in 2026. And we're just like, crap, what are we hyped for? Because it's like,
yeah, and I think like it's good because it gives us an opportunity, I think, to go back into the backlog a little bit. Like, I think next year we could finally do an episode on Andor. Like, so it does give us time to go back, because people would watch an Andor episode now because they tout it as like the greatest Star Wars thing ever made. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how that all shakes out.
Right. It's just hard because I love keeping up with the trends, and I love keeping up with like what everyone's talking about, and it just makes it impossible when there's nothing to talk about.
Right.
And so it's just kind of like, but it's also kind of a blessing because it's like, well, there's no Star Wars, but like Digital Circus is popping off, and that has such a niche community that we're really excited about.
That we can talk about Digital Circus or K-pop or Demon Slayer.
Digital Circus,
There's other stuff to talk about.
I don't know. I'm excited. So anyway,
I want
to just talk about Digital Circus.
I want to see if this works. Chat, tell me if you can hear this.
I'm the one that tells lies.
I think it looks like it came through on OBS. I went through and I programmed a bunch of stuff on.
Dude, you ruined it.
Hold on.
You ruined it.
Hey there! If you want to find my sunken treasure chest, you'll have to try better than that.
And then, of course, the classic.
Beautiful night for a game, right, Bubble? Beautiful night for a game, right,
Beautiful
Bubble?
night for a game, right, Bubble?
Yeah, so
that's so good. That's so
transitioning
good.
into the episode. This for me has been on my like vocal stim list all week. It's always just the
I'm the one that tells lies.
It's the stupid fish, dude.
I'm the one that tells lies.
Hey there! If you want to find my sunken treasure chest, you'll have to try better than that. Like,
I love the I was talking to my brother over here, and you are
definitely
not finding our sunken treasure.
Definitely not.
You are definitely not. Oh my gosh.
It's so stupid because it's such such a random joke, but I think looking at the overall tone of the episode, it was needed because it did kind of take a more serious tone because you're built up to like, oh, well, they're like getting out.
Right. Well, my thing too is I would almost argue that this is one of the funniest episodes of this show.
Really?
Like, I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think like there's so many good bits, like when you really boil it down, because the early episodes are really funny, and then Untitled will always be the best. Like it will always be the best, the funniest episode for me. But in this episode, like he was like, "Oh, let's consult the Chinese room," and I was like dead on the floor. I thought that was so funny. And he was like, ha ha ha, I don't know what that means.
I can't read Chinese.
Like, it was just, I can't read Chinese. Like, so funny. Like so I don't know. I think this was really funny. Um, so I don't know if you want to give like I feel like this episode kind of hit me like a truck, and I was just like, well, what are we doing?
What are we
So
doing here?
kind of run me through like what were your kind of thoughts like while watching?
So
Like what were you feeling?
while watching, I really got roped into the like I thought it was all legit. Like
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah, same.
but here's the thing. I thought it was all legit, but then the more like the longer the episode went on, I was like, what? Like if this is episode 7 and they're getting out, then what's 8 and 9?
What's next?
This feels
Yeah.
like episode 9 or even end of episode 8 type thing. And I'm like, I don't know, but it does seem really legit.
Right.
But then I thought like, oh, if this guy's really able, like, then yeah, he would definitely like have an issue with Kinger just because like they would have gone so far back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right, and that makes sense.
I really bought into it because it did like really lean into the whole, oh yeah, they suck these people in tubes, they were kidnapping people, like put them in the pods, and then like, oh my gosh, and it fit in with everything we had been theorizing about, and then to get to the end and have it all like rug pull out from underneath you and be like, oh, that's actually not.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not true at all, which I think there's a lot of conversation to be had about that, but just like keeping it kind of general for the time being, I think I enjoyed the episode. There was a lot of like really laughable points. Kane is my favorite character, so this was a really big episode for him, just getting to hang out with like Jax and all that. So I think it was a really good episode. I don't know if it's in like my favorite. I feel like I'd need to rewatch it to
I think
really
it became one of my favorites pretty
get
instantly.
up there. Dude, nothing is still going to top episode 5. Like
5 is just like they're freaking like, you should throw a
freaking beach party.
Or
Beautiful
you
night for a
swear
game,
now?
right, Bubble?
Like, it's crazy.
So good. Like they will never. I don't know if they'll ever top that. I really do like. So I was watching this episode, and this is kind of like Severance fans will know. Like episode 7 is usually when you're like, oh, it's actually starting to unravel. Because if you're thinking about like a story structure, if you're doing 9 episodes, 7 is where if you're gonna do like a turning point, you need to do it there.
Right.
Because otherwise there's not gonna be enough time to actually wrap up what's left. So I think that what was so brilliant was that we were all like, oh, this is the natural point where we're going to discover all of these things. And so when they were revealing everything, I was like, oh, so we're just laying it out all on the table.
Right.
And I wasn't necessarily opposed to that, because I was like, well, at some point, and I think this is where like a lot of mystery shows like this get stuck, is it's like, when do you actually tell the truth? Like, what's the point where it's actually all out there and you can just keep going? Because I think that you do need 1 or 2 episodes where you know everything so that you can wrap up the story well. And that's hard, because I think that, and I think where a lot of people are upset at this episode too, is they were like, oh, so we're learning all these things, we're doing all this stuff, and it was like, this is the climax we were waiting for, this is what we were expecting. And so to have that rug pull at the end, like, nope, it was all an adventure, it was all a bit, it was all a dream. I understand wholeheartedly feeling cheated, because you're just like, what now?
Right.
And you're like, is there enough time to essentially set it all up again and have it still pay off? Which, here's my thing, is that, this is why the show is so good and it's so brilliantly written, is because they placed all of these things in front of us. Like, every reveal from this episode was what we were expecting. It's what we were saying. We were saying Kinger is a dev. There's another guy, Kane, the company is very obviously called Kane and Abel. So Kane has to have a counterpart named Abel. And there's this and that, the mannequin guy, the everything, like Jack's abstraction, the frog and the, all like Ribbit and the dog and all the, like, everything came to this, and we were like, this makes so much sense. But here's the thing, like, when they were talking about this episode, this is the one where they were like, so what's the one word reaction to every episode? And the episode 7 was what? And then episode 8 is oh. So, like, I have a feeling that what they've actually been setting up has been there the whole time. We just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Because I actually, like, I really do trust the show. Like, I trust the writers and I trust the creators to know what they're doing, to the point where, like, because if the whole thing is like, actually it was true, like, that's lazy and that sucks. Because it was like, it's retconned, but then it's not, and it's really, like, kind of jerky and just, like, playing with your emotions for the sake of, I would say, virality and for the sake of conversation in a community. But just, like, I kind of trust them to do the right thing. And honestly, like, if, like, fingers crossed, which we have no reason to distrust them, assuming it sticks the landing, this may be one of the most brilliant bait and switches I've ever seen on a TV show. Like, I was so fully invested in every single reveal that they were doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Like, of course. And then just, like, to reverse that is just, like, textbook perfect writing. Like, 10 out of 10. Phenomenal. But I think that if we get into this next episode and it doesn't stick the landing, that's when I think we actually, like, have a revolt on our hands.
Yeah.
So,
and I
don't
think,
know.
like, what's so interesting is, not to jump straight to the ending, but I remember watching episode 6 and, like, having that mask off moment with Jax and Pomni, and then getting to the end of that episode and being like, okay, well, like, where do we go from here? Like, you can't just jump into another adventure. But then you start the episode and it kind of is like, oh, we're just going to jump into another adventure. And Jax happens to be there. But then obviously he goes off to his room and we see what that looks like for abstracting. And, like, he was about to die. Like,
right.
And someone pointed out, like, the fact that he just gave up all his keys like that meant that he was, like, ready to go lay back down and, like, finish what he was doing. So the fact that they, like, kind of pulled him out, like, saved him in a way. And I get to the end of this episode and I'm like, okay, well, where do we go from here? Because the next episode can't just start with Kane popping up and be like, all right, here's our next adventure. We're going to the dirty, dark dungeon, like, doing whatever.
Right.
And this is a comment, this is a question Golden Era put in chat, was like, where do we go from here? And I think it's a really interesting, like, question. And to me, what makes the most logical sense, because if you watch that episode, and I picked up on this right away, everyone jumped on Pomni for, like, not immediately pressing the blue button, by the way. Everyone jumped on her, like, in the show, and, like, the people watching the show, like, jumped on her. They're like, press the button. And I, like, what she was doing was, this room is dark, and Kinger clearly knows more than we do, so I need to stall long enough for him to tell us, because that's what she'd been saying the whole episode, was like, I trust Kinger. Whatever he says is what we're going to do, because he's been here longer. He knows what we're talking about. So I think for her, it was, I'm going to stall until he can figure out what's happening. And then obviously, like, Jax has a panic attack and presses the red button, and, like, we don't get to see that. But what I think is really interesting is this, like, bright white light comes on, right? Like, Kinger can't think straight when he's in the light, but then he's got this bright white light in front of him. He's like, oh, I remember the first abstraction now, which makes you think, like, is his memory thing a like, is it a modifier that Kane put on him because he knows too much, because he's been here too long?
Right.
So, and that, like, that opens a whole other door of, like, Kane says he can't, he can't make them forget their names, but it's like, if he can modify their mind, you know, like, to make Jax a vegan, or to add in, like, the stupid sauce for Ragatha, like, it makes you wonder, like, even, and I think this kind of goes undernoticed, but I picked it up on a second time in episode 5, when Jax puts the maid outfit on, his mannerisms change to be more feminine. He moves in a way that he would not normally move, which is another subset of that modifier for him to be dressed up like that. So,
which is so interesting, and I think it's so, like, just another thing that makes the show so good is those little things that we thought were just funny or were just pointless came back to be like, oh my gosh, this is such a big deal.
Right.
And this is an example of how dangerous this is. So.
Yeah. So it just makes me wonder, like, I think the most logical solution now is, I think they're going to lock Kinger in a dark room and be like, all right, tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know that we don't? Either that, or they're going to try and catch Kane and make Kane do it.
Right.
Or both. Like, they might talk to Kinger, and Kinger might know of a way to keep Kane, like, trapped in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to pin him down long enough to get the answers. Because I don't think he's lying in the entirety of it. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I don't think so.
And
either.
here's where my thing comes in. I think Kane is innocent here. Like, I think Kane is doing exactly what he was programmed to do, and even looking at his reaction when Jack starts yelling at him, he's like, "What?" Like, he doesn't understand that what he did was wrong. Because that's not what he was programmed to do. Because you guys have to remember, Kane is an AI. He does whatever he's programmed to. He doesn't have the rationale or the thought that the other characters do, because they're human, right? And he even says that, like, well, I want to know more about humans. I want to know more about people. I want to spend time with them, which is why he's, like, so enthralled that he gets to hang out with Jax. So I think Kane is innocent to an extent. Like, innocent in the sense of, like, he didn't understand that what he was doing is wrong.
Right.
Like Logan said, Kane isn't malicious. He's just kind of dumb. Like, like, he's not doing it to be evil. He's not dangling this over her, like, over their head of, like, oh, you want out, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Like, he just genuinely doesn't know that what he's doing is wrong. And I'm interested to see how that pivots, because everyone's clearly, like, upset with him and doesn't understand that.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if there's going to be, like, some kind of, like... if there's going to be some kind of lore dump from Kinger that kind of gives us the backstory, because to your point, this does feel like the point in the story, like, in a 3-act story structure, we're at the beginning of Act 3. Like,
like, we should start.
We are in the rising action. Because episode 8 will be here's all of the answers, let's make a game plan, and then 9 is we're getting the heck out of here. So
and I think that's so, to just, like, try to flat out answer the question, where do we go next? I think you're right. I think maybe we pick up, I hope, like, fingers crossed, that we pick up right where we left off. Like, I really hope we can just be in Kane's office, which is dope, by the way. Like, Kane's office is sick.
And I think there is something to that, because I read somewhere that Gooseworks was talking about how, like, 7 and 8 were paired together, but then they got split, which means that 8 will probably pick up, like, right there at that moment, which is going to be such an awkward walk back. Like, if they even walk back, they might just stay there. They might go in, like, back into his office.
So I'll also pose the question, I think there might be some, I don't know if I want this, but I saw a couple theories where they were like, some will say, like, episode 8 might be a flashback episode, and that we will learn all of the context of what we actually need to know through the flashback instead of them just being like, Kinger, what do you know? And he's, because this is the standard like show don't tell.
Right.
And so it's like, I would rather have a flashback than 20 minutes of Kinger just talking about what's actually true. And not to just pull this comparison again, but this is what Severance did. Season 2, episode 7 is like the episode 7 turning point, and it's a whole flashback that like connects the whole show together and makes you go, oh, that's why this matters. And then you go back to the real world with that context where we can move forward. And so I would not be surprised if we got a flashback episode, but I'm also like, you only have 2 episodes. Is your second to last episode gonna be flashback? Like,
right.
Maybe it could be like an intercut thing where it's like we have half flashback, half regular time period.
Or they could do it kind of like the Abel flashback where he's narrating and you see what he's narrating, so you kind of get a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So I do.
Which do you?
I do see.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
I also like want to ask. This is the other thing Golden Era put is: do you think Abel is the true villain?
Okay, so let's break down like everything Abel the NPC said was like, well, we worked for CNA and we were developing this game and we put them, you know, like we put all the test people in, and then there was something about like farming energy from them, and then like they're all trapped in the pods, but if we can get to Kane's office and shut everything down, then it turns everything off, but Kane can't come with you. Like he's stuck here.
Right.
Which looking back is a very like, he was probing them to be like,
right,
hey guys, I'm not coming with you, and they're all like, okay, whatever, like I want out, like I want to leave.
Right.
And I think that is also going to be covered in this next episode, is there's going to be something that switches someone to be like, well, maybe I don't want to leave Kane here. Like, and I think out of anyone, it'll be Pomni. Like,
I agree.
She'll be the one who's like, well, should we really leave Kane here by himself? Like,
yeah. Well, that's so hard because it's like, that's the inspiration material is like, I have no mouth and I must scream. It's like the point of that is the AI is like, I'm keeping you here. And it's like almost like this, if I can't leave, then neither can you.
Right. And
so like it also just depends on how much they pull from the source material. I think that they have pulled a lot of empathy for Kane in the show so far. They've not shown him to be evil or malicious. I think he's simply, like you said, like he's just doing what he's programmed to do. And he's clearly obsessed with the outside world. He's clearly just wants to be connected to humans. And I think that's so sad. But also at the end of the day, I'm like, he's simply just a computer. Like you have to move on. And I think this is a really interesting like commentary as we live in the AI era right now of like, it's not real. Like you cannot feel for it.
Right.
I know it's so hard to disassociate that, but you have to leave it behind. Like it can't come with you. And so I don't know, that's hard because I'm like, what if someone is like, feels strongly enough to stay there with him?
Right.
Like I wonder if Jax in a way is like, no, I will stay here. Like, because he showed that he was willing to press the button. Like he was suspicious that it was an adventure, but like he was willing to press the button to keep them there.
Right. So but I don't think he wants to keep all of them there. I think he just wants to keep himself there. And Logan said Jax is going to get jumped in the next episode. I don't think he is. Because I think...
Really?
I don't think he is. I think there is that element of, like... you got to stop and be like, oh my gosh, Jax, you pressed this button that was going to keep us here. Like, you're lucky this didn't turn out to be the real thing. But
the real deal.
I also think there's an element of like what happened with Cain is the bigger of two evils. Like, they have to address that first before you go back and address Jax. And what I also think is going to happen is I think Kinger and Jax are going to have a one-on-one conversation in the next episode. Because if you watch that last scene, like when, like that very last shot, you can see Kinger like look down, look over at Jax, and then look back down. Like, because he knows, like, if he really was involved in the creation of this game, and he's been there since the first abstraction, like, he's seen all of them since then. And I think he knows what that emotional and mental turmoil is like before people abstract, and he knows, like, that's where Jax is at. And he's like, I don't want this to happen again. So I think they're gonna have a conversation and work something out.
Freaking, like, if Kinger just like goes into his like sweet dad mode and like kind of gets Jax out of his head the way that he's been in the last like 3 episodes, where he's like this close to abstraction, like genuinely this close. And if they can just have like a one-on-one and he can just like bring him out of that, I would be like sobbing on the floor. Like, I would actually be so sweet. And I almost wonder if a flashback would help that. Like, I wonder if it would support that, where he was like, hey, we've been through this together. Like, if you think about it, we are the ones that have suffered through this. And what's so interesting is I think that Kinger and Jax are 2 characters that have been through like very similar things, and their responses are completely different.
Yeah.
And so it's like Jax is like completely like shut off. Like, he's like, I'm just going to fit my archetype. I'm going to be the jerk, the funny butthole, whatever. And Kinger's like, no, like he's a very peaceful person. Now, of course, he has obviously some kind of memory wipe, but like they remember that first abstraction. And so I think that Kinger is like the piece to tie this all together.
No pun intended.
And I think they've made that pretty clear. Yeah. He's the king.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to tie it all together. I think Jax has honestly become more of a main character than Pomni at this point.
I think that's just because the perspective has shifted as we get in these later episodes. I just had this thought of like, if we get a flashback, I know everyone says they entered the circus at different times, but what if that's not true? Like, we've never, just because we haven't seen anything else, I wonder if there's a limit on, because like we all agree this is a video game, right? You know how in some games, like mainly in RPGs, you can only have a set number of characters in rotation, right? Like, you can only have a set number of characters in your party. It makes me wonder if the game knew that Kaufmo abstracted, so it needed to put like Pomni in to keep the status quo. So like they've all been in there the whole time, and maybe Kinger knows that, and he knows that like he knows what they looked like. And then they've all just been stuck in there. Oh, I get Logan. That's like a point. Episode 5 did confirm that they entered at different times. That's true. So I guess that theory goes out the window.
It's also so hard because I'm just genuinely really confused and curious on I'm just genuinely really confused and curious on how they got here.
You ruined it.
Thanks, Logan.
Because I'm kind of like, Pomni said that she liked exploring abandoned buildings.
Right.
And in that first, like the very end of the first episode, we see that headset. And they even talk about, they're like, I put on a headset and now I'm here. Like, how did this happen? And so I'm like, the CNA office has, I guess, been abandoned for a while. Like,
Which I guess would explain why
but
she's the last one in there. But it makes you wonder, like, how many people have accidentally wandered into this building? Like,
right.
because
And
there's
so
a
I'm
recurring like number. Like, if you look at all of those doors that have the X's on them, like, how many people actually wandered in? Which also, if Kane
I'm the one that tells lies.
is lying about things, right, and not being entirely honest,
right.
maybe those aren't real people. Like, maybe not all of them are real, but it's a perceived,
Right.
like, it's a perceived, like, there were people here.
Yeah.
We know some of them, like Scratch is obviously a real person, Ribbit's obviously a real person,
Right.
and Kaufmo is obviously a real person, but it makes you wonder, like, how do you
And
get
I'm
this many
like-
people in there and they all die?
Right. And I'm like, how, like, surely there's got to be another, like, entry point, I guess? Or, like, maybe because Pomni is the newest one there. And it seems like there was kind of a gap in between, like, her and when, like, I guess whoever was the person that got in there before her. And so I'm like, I almost wonder if they have all been in there, like, from when the building was not abandoned.
Oh.
And then, like, the whole place was shut down from probably unethical human testing.
Yeah,
Or
unethical.
maybe there was,
like,
like,
don't
an
stick
explosion
people in there.
or right, like some real Sword Art Online nonsense. And I'm just like, but then it's like, oh, but the building's abandoned, but we didn't, like, there was no, like, government seizure of the technology unless,
Right,
like
the building's abandoned, and
what
you're telling me
we-
that no one went in there to try to get those people out?
right.
Like,
So, like, my thought is maybe they're all, like, workers or beta testers that, like, it may have been an indie thing that was like they're all just beta testers and no one knew that they were in there. But, like, the CNA office is pretty big.
right.
Like, from
So,
the
like, it was a
photos
pretty
we've seen,
big
it looks like a
company. And what
Like,
I
it was a
also
big
think is
company.
important to notice is, like I said, I don't think Kane is in the wrong here. I think, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
yeah.
When he's hanging out with Jax, he pulls up these pictures of, like, what he calls the macroverse,
Yeah.
which is the outside world, and he's like, I had a really fun time exploring and looking at it until they cut me off. Like, so who
Yeah.
cut him off? Like, who?
Like, is someone still actively monitoring this?
Right. Like, is there someone actively monitoring and keeping them from leaving, and thus putting? I'm sticking by my theory that the abstraction provides some kind of freaky energy source that this company
Yeah.
learned how to, like, suck out souls or something through
Yeah.
abstraction, and thus keeps people there. Because otherwise, why would you, like, program Kane to dangle this, like, oh, you get to leave? Because what if in the next episode the entire cast abstracted, like, all 6 of them,
Right.
like, because
Right.
of this, right? Like, this
Right.
was the tipping point. This is what pushed them over the edge. What if
Right.
this is what causes that? Like, there's got to be
Yeah.
something else that we're missing that we're not thinking
Right.
of.
And I think it's and this is why I just get so excited about this show, because I'm like, genuinely no freaking clue. like I could give you a guess, but it's probably way simpler than we think it is. And it's probably like not near as complicated, and I really hope that it's going to make perfect sense.
Right.
But I'm just like, so was Cain ever real? Was he? Yeah, and like Logan just put in the chat, all the rooms are seemingly designed to torture them. But I think that like Cain's like vision of it is not that.
Right.
It's that, they are for it, the adventures are for their enjoyment. So it's like, my question is, I'm like, this is a seemingly random group of people, unless it's not. Like, is this a targeted group of people that is being tested on or tortured, or like maybe some mythical like powers playing into this world? I don't know, but we did get our first glimpse of the real world in Jax's like abstraction.
Which Goosework said is not not important. Like the
Right.
specific location, because everyone like doxed the neighborhood. Like they found it in the
Right.
first 2
And they were-
days.
Right. Which is insane.
It was like in the middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Yeah.
And and she was like, it's not like it's not
They're
that
like, it's
deep.
not
This
that
is
important.
just like footage that we put in there.
Right.
Because she said like it's not even the state in which Digital Circus takes place. Like it's not even like
Yeah.
Digital Circus isn't even set in Missouri. So like
Right.
that doesn't matter. So
Yeah. But that's so hard because like I keep hearing this theory like, well, Jax hit a kid with his car.
I was gonna say like I like
And
how
I'm
we saw
like-
2 clips of a vehicle and everyone just assumed that Jax committed vehicular manslaughter. Like
Right.
whoa, that's
Whoa.
crazy. That what?
Yeah. And that's my other thing is I'm like, so he, and it's even like, so they're like, well, he's wanted, and so he doesn't want to leave the circus because he knows like whatever's waiting for him out there is just it's not as good as the circus. And I'm like, yeah, but that would mean he already knew about the circus and knew to run to there.
Right. Instead of just accidentally getting caught there. I wonder if
Right.
flashback episode for episode 8 would be showing us how they all got in the circus in the first place. Like show us how
I
all
wonder-
6 of them ended up there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like part of it is like everyone gets really honest. Like if we're going to
Yeah.
sit down and have this conversation with Kinger and have him be honest, well, now Ragatha is going to be a little more honest about how she got there. Zuba will be honest.
Yeah.
Pomni, Jax, Gangle, like so on and so forth. Everyone sits
Yeah.
down and they're like, okay, so I actually wasn't perusing through buildings. I saw an
Right.
ad that was like, hey, we'll pay you X whatever to come beta test our game.
Right.
Like,
And maybe they were all baited in different ways.
Right.
Like I don't know. Maybe they were targeted in different ways. But I think that would work. My question, I keep going back to this thought, and we brought this up on the original episode, but now I think it's a bigger question more than ever. Like, are we gonna see a world outside of the circus in this show?
I think we could, but I also like I don't know if it'll be that deep. There's 2 different
would it-
ways this could go. It could
Right.
be if they get out and we see the characters are just the voice actors, right? Like
Right.
that's their human equivalent.
I think it'd be sick. I would love that.
But I also don't know like if that would benefit the story. You know what I mean?
No, right. Like maybe they get out and the show ends and you just have to like fill it in yourself.
Right, like assume that they
That they were
all
okay.
like met up and they were okay and they were still friends outside of that, and it was just
'Cause
really
even, like-
crazy like wow, we got stuck inside a game.
Wow,
That was
I can't
crazy.
believe that. Because that's even like that was a conversation between the 2 of them in this episode. It was like, hey, when we get out, will we still be friends? And they were like, of course we will. Like, it's all the same. But my question is, I'm like, are they all in the same place? Or were they like picked up from different, like across the country?
Right.
Or
Like, I think
is
the
this like,
CNA building is one place. I think
I
CNA
agree.
is something that Kane did not lie about.
Right.
Like,
No,
I
me
think
neither.
there's
Because he doesn't seem to know.
right, and I think there's also like they ask Kane these questions, and I genuinely think there's some of it he doesn't know.
Right.
Like he was not privy to that information of like,
right.
well, how do we get out? Because like they asked Abel like, what happens to all the abstracted people, like Kaufmo, who abstracted while they're here? Are they gonna be okay? And Abel was like, I'm not sure.
Right.
And like in the moment when you're watching it for the first time, you're like, oh well, this is this developer who like never expected it to go this far, so he doesn't know what happens to them when they abstract like that. But when you think about it through the lens of this is Kane programming Abel to say all these things, it then tells you that Kane doesn't know either. Like, unless he's just lying and like he knows, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But how does Kane know with an abstracted person where to put them? Like, how does he know instantly, like, oh, you know, like I've seen people go back to that first episode and see the clip where they're like, Kaufmo extracted. And he's like, Kaufmo abstracted? Why didn't anybody tell me? And then it's like, boop, all right, in the hole. And then like just picks him up and drops him in this hole where there's all these other abstracted people. And it's like, oh, how did you know to do that?
Wait,
like,
right.
Maybe like, pattern recognition of like, oh, someone did it again. All right, you're going in the bin with everybody else. Like,
right.
And it was one of those he had to figure it out on the first go. But I don't know. There's so many different ways it could go.
There's so many different things. And it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I could not tell you because the CNA building is real, and Kinger's definitely a developer. Like, definitely.
Yep.
He is going to be the key to them getting out. I hope that they do get out in the end.
Kane seemingly hates Kinger. I don't know what happened there. Because there was that ghost that possessed Pomni that was like, how's your wife, Kinger? Like, knowing that she's dead.
Right.
And then, you know, Abel is like, well, we're not going to talk to Kinger. Like, we're not going to, like, no, we're going to exclude him. And he doesn't, like, don't worry about it later. Logan says, what do you think about the weird button thing in Kinger's pillow fort? I think that's an actual admin pass.
Yeah,
I think that's
agree.
an actual, because when Pomni handed him that and it was like, hey, this is an admin key for us to get out, he kind of looks at it and he's like,
he's like, I don't know.
And then you
about
can
that.
see, like, in that one little shot, like it's in the bottom left corner, it looks like the admin keys, but he's like, oh, this is
Right.
this is
like,
not
this
an
is the
admin
actual,
key. This is the actual one. And I think that will also, like, I wouldn't be shocked if we pick up next episode, if we don't pick up right where we left off, if they're, like, sitting in Kinger's pillow fort.
Right. No, same. I'm scrubbing through the episode right now to try to, like, see that. Also, I just genuinely think the Chinese room is so funny. Like, it is just, like, him saying that, and also him, like, Abel explaining, like, oh, I have a theory that he will commit to a bit no matter what. Like, was so funny because, like, Kane programmed that himself. Like,
which means he will commit to a bit no matter what.
He kind of will, which is, like, kind of telling of his, which is kind of like reveals that about himself. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll also just say, like, while scrubbing through this too, like, this is, I mean, just every episode their animation gets better.
Yep.
Like,
looking back at the pilot, I'm like, whoa. That was rough.
This is genuinely just a beautiful episode. Do we think anyone from the main cast will actually abstract? That's a great question.
That is a really good question. I want to say no.
I want to say no, but I don't think I can. I think
I feel like we're too late for someone to abstract.
I don't think so.
I feel like with the way the narrative would have to go, it's too late to abstract one of the main 6.
Yeah.
It also doesn't feel like it would make sense. Like, if Jax abstracts now, like,
what was the point?
Kane puts him in the bin and we move on and we just leave him there.
Right.
Like,
unless one of them abstracting is what it takes for them to be like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And it
but I feel like they're already there. Like, they're already ready to get out, more so I'd argue now than they were before.
Right.
Just because of all the stuff that's happened with Kane.
Yeah. I kind of hope they don't, because I feel like we've made it, like you said, like we've made it this far. And so it's like, it would kind of feel like a cheap shot at this point to just kill off a main character. Unless they have to do the we have to hold the lever open so someone has to stay behind type trope. Which I
would
also
be
hope
Kinger.
they don't do. It would be Kinger. And he would do that. Zubul and Gangle have the strongest possibility to abstract. Their arcs seem complete, so narratively it makes sense.
I disagree.
Really?
I disagree, because
Why?
the way their arcs are completed pulls them further away from abstraction. If you think about what pushes someone to abstract, it's this feeling of hopelessness, getting lost in your own despair, like giving up. And I think that is what a lot of the characters have had to work through to get there, and Jax is the only one who's not there yet. Like, Kinger has seemingly always been there, so he's the least likely in my mind, because he's been there so long. He kind of knows what to do to not abstract, but he always, he feels like he's never there. Pomni, I don't think is going to abstract. She really, I don't think, has been there long enough to hit that low yet. Maybe in the first few episodes, but I feel like she's better now. Ragatha, after her conversation with Kinger, I feel like is a lot better. And then Zubul and Gangle, to your point, their arcs are complete, whereas I just don't think they're in a mental space to abstract. Like, the plot could necessitate someone abstracting, but I don't think mentally they're in a place to abstract like that without it feeling weird. Because in my mind, and as I think back on this now, I might be wrong, but you can kind of go with me here. I think the point of the circus, obviously not like from a development standpoint as a game or whatever, is redemption and rehabilitation. Is ever since Pomni got there, because, main character syndrome, somebody's got to kick the plot in order, and get that going. I feel like the story every episode has been overcoming your flaws and overcoming yourself in a way that puts you in a better mental space. Because think about Zubul was her being uncomfortable with a body that's always changing, right? That was her thing, and now she's kind of okay with that. That's where we've gotten to. Gangle was having the self-confidence and being herself, right? And we've gotten there.
Right.
And so I feel like Jax is the only one who's not there, and that's what's holding them back in the circus. Is he's the only one not there. And you see that because everyone was ready to get out except for him.
Right.
Because there's something about this digital, there's something about this digital circus that he's it's better to stay here and bring everyone down with me than it is to leave and go confront whatever is in the real world. And I think that's why he's the next one to have a conversation with Kinger of it's okay. Whatever is out there, it's going to be okay because you're not a bad person.
Right.
And I think that's why that makes the most sense to happen next. And So that's my long story on why I don't think anybody from the main cast is going to abstract.
I think that makes sense.
But
I think
Golden
that makes
also brings
sense.
up a great point of like King reveals too much and an abstraction gets forced upon him, which also brings up an interesting question. Can Kane force people to abstract?
Right. Can he just be like, you're gone? Which that's what he did to Abel, is he was like, oh, you're asking too many questions. Goodbye.
And Gummy Goo too. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be here.
Bob. Yeah. And that's another thing I'm like, he doesn't seem like malicious about it.
Do you think
He's
he
just
could do
kinda
that
like,
to a player character or not because it's based on an existing person? Because there's clearly a distinction between like an NPC
Yes.
and a player
them.
character.
I don't think he could do it to a player. I don't think so. Because I at the end of the day, like he can manipulate them and like change them, but he can't like kill them, you know? Like he can, and that's what I think is the interesting conversation, like is abstraction actually death? Because I think that, and this is really dark, so like sorry, but like I don't think he can actually kill them, but I think that he can essentially drive them to the point of killing themselves.
Right. Like based on what we saw from
So-
Jax, abstraction seems like kind of a active
Just like a
choice
Brain implosion.
of like a giving up.
Like,
But we see the two
yeah.
extremes of it too. Of like
Right.
Jax's was very peaceful, like I'm just giving up. I'm done.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
Kaufmo's that we see from the first episode, like you see the insane
It was
rambling
a
on the
monster.
wall.
Yeah.
Like it was like he had clearly gone insane and like his mind
Yeah.
had gone in the other direction. So I think
right.
it's more about your mental state than anything else.
Right.
Like it's more about this like
Right.
where
Like,
are you
have
at
to-
mentally? Have you given
Right.
up the will to live and the will to
Right.
continue forward?
Right.
Now what do we do with that?
Which is so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting. I think that, so interesting is like, this isn't a theory that's on the official wiki that I think is interesting. I'm curious your thoughts on it. This is from Unsemistivercro. It's just like a bunch of letters. It's whatever. And this is a theory on the official wiki that a fan made.
For the
that I'm
episode or
curious-
the
For the series.
for the series. Okay.
It says, Kinger is Seth, since instead of Abel killing Cain in the show, Cain killed Abel. Said, so instead of being an ancestor to Noah, the only good person by the flood, more about that later, he creates the most evil person by that time. And how can Kinger create Noah? Eggs. The eggs he asked to help, which from Ragatha. Who will that Noah be? The rook we see in the intermission. Did we ever see Kinger's room? No, not really. But what if it is an egg hatching room where the rook, Noah, will hatch? And since the rook is the evil Noah and an AI too, he will kill Kinger, and what will the flood be? Some leak, probably. So essentially, saying like, pulling on the biblical principles
Of Cain
like,
and Abel.
of Cain and Abel, the show is reversing Cain and Abel. And it's saying like, well, Cain killed Abel. Right?
Right.
So it's essentially like, I'm trying to figure out if it's like, there's this weird thing about eggs. Like, everyone is all about the eggs that I think is really bizarre. And so, like, Kinger is in the egg in the intermission show, which I'm kind of like, that reaches far.
Let me watch the intermission
kind of-
again.
I'm like, that's kind of reaching, but I'm also like, the principle I think is an interesting idea to be like, it's throwing that like principle in. I just joined. Can anyone recap for me, please? How would we recap this? We think Kane is innocent. He is simply an AI that has programmed what he wants to just programmed to do what he wants. We're kind of at a loss for theories, and we don't really know what to say because we're just kind of at a loss. So that's the best recap I can
Where
give.
is Kinger in the...
No, because there's an egg in the freaking thing.
Where?
I guarantee you it's there.
I just skimmed the whole thing. There's no egg, but they drop the They drop like the bowling balls in the cake.
Interesting.
And
well, it's just a fan theory, so like it doesn't have to hold any weight.
So only 5 out of the 6 get stuff dropped on them. Zubal's not there.
If this whole thing is predicted by the intermission sequence, I am just gonna like
Jax and Pomni get
out.
bowling balls. Gangle and Ragatha get cake, but Kinger catches his bowling ball and then gets hit by the rook, which then sends him flying off the board.
Yeah. I think that's what everyone's referring to. This is so deep.
I think the intermission has a lot more layered meaning to it than people initially give it credit for. Like, yeah, it's the funny haha meme. Like, oh, let's meme on the intermission and put all the different songs in there. But like, I think there's a lot more to it than just that. And like, Logan, thoughts on the meaning of cake and bowling balls? I think the bowling balls has something to do with how Kane feels about them.
Yeah.
Like, it clearly has something to do with how Kane feels about each of them. And I don't know anything. I don't even
know. I think that we are gonna watch through this show again, like all the way through, and then be like, oh my gosh, it's been there the whole time. Like it will be there.
And I think Gooseworks said that was the intention.
That's good.
Was like, you rewatch it and you're like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Like, I get it now.
I'm just like,
I'm so glad I get to watch this show while it's airing and not like just a binge at the end. Like, this is so satisfying.
Right. No, literally.
And like, it's ending next year. Like, episode 8 comes out in March. So even if like, I think they've already done table reads and stuff for episode 9. So it's clearly in production. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say that by the end of next year, episode 9 is out. I wonder if they're going to have a date after episode 9 or after episode 8. Because I feel like what makes this wait a little easier is we know when the next one is coming.
We know when it is, yeah.
But I wonder if they're just going to leave it up in the air and be like, well, episode 9 is coming. And
it's like, what? So how long do you think those episodes are going to be? Like,
they've already said they're at least over a half hour.
Okay, good. Because I need that finale to be like feature length. Because I'm gonna be so sad when the story's over. Like I'm just gonna be a mess.
Yeah, and like something I want to point out, and I kind of went over this crackpot theory with my fiance. So you know that post-credit scene in episode 6 where Kane's eyes twitch red and blue instead of blue and green because those are his eye colors. If you look, how did I say this? This is like probably has nothing to do with it. If you look at him from an audience perspective, like from us looking at him or how the other characters would look at him, blue is on the left, red is on the right. And then if you map those with the buttons that are in his office, red is on the left, blue is on the right. But think about what each of those buttons meant. Blue was perceived as the good button because it's we're getting out of here, we're done. red is perceived as the bad button. So for them to be flipped in his eyes means that to him, the good ending is the one where everyone stays there with him, because that's what he says when he pops out after they press the button. He's like, you picked the good ending.
The good ending.
Like, so where you'd rather stay here with me instead of go back to whatever the macroverse is. So I think the blue and the red is a lot more. And I remember mentioning that on the first episode. I was like, there's something significant about that. And I didn't know what it was. But I think that's because then them being flipped in his eyes, if you're outside looking at him, that's what it looks like. But if he flips to their perspective and looks at it, it then becomes red on the left, blue on the right.
Yeah.
So it's all about perspective of who's looking at what.
That's what's insane is I'm like, is it that deep?
Is it that deep?
Or is it like, I don't know. Because the show can't decide if it's that deep or if it's not. Like, because the whole show is based on, it's either like, yeah, it goes 12 layers deep and it's this and it's that and it's this tiny freaking detail. Or it's like, no, he's just a developer. And it's like, it just messes with my brain. Like, there's nothing unintentional about the show, but that means that, like, you overanalyze everything and get in your head about it. And so I'm just like,
go with me again here, right? Okay, my favorite.
Yeah. I'm the one that tells lies.
If you think about it, think about that whole interaction with the fish. Everyone thinks it's just like, you know,
hey there, if you want to find my sunken treasure chest, you'll have to try better than that.
Everyone thinks that it's like just like a
memes.
comedy bit for memes.
Yeah.
But think about it, okay? Just go with me again here. I was thinking about this as I was watching it. I was like, the one fish is kind of like an orangish tan, right? And his whole premise is like, hey, you want to find my sunken treasure, you'll have to try better than that. Like, he's trying to lure Pomni into this like adventure, if you will. And then she goes up and comes back and he's like, well, I was talking to my brother here and like, you're definitely not getting our sunken treasure. Like, definitely not. And when she kind of hesitates, she's like, do I even really want your sunken treasure? And then you get the red fish who's like, I'm the one that tells lies. And the other one is like, dude, you ruined it. Like, you ruined it. And but I think, just go with me here.
Okay.
Tan fish is Abel, red fish is Cain. And that was foreshadowing the entire episode. In this stupid little thing that we thought with the fish was just for a meme. Because what are the odds that this show keeps pulling the Cain and Abel dynamic? And Cain and Abel were brothers. So what do you mean that Abel's color palette matches up with this tan fish and Cain's color palette matches up with the fish that tells lies? And then he's like, well, I was talking to my brother here and like, you're definitely not getting our sunken treasure. And then they go find the sunken treasure, which is the way out, and they don't get it. So like,
and it's all a lie.
So what? It was all right there in like minute 10.
Yep.
It was all right there.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, that's crazy.
That's insane.
I don't think it's clocking to you. We're standing on business. All right.
Oh my gosh. Also, looking back at this fish is like nightmare fuel.
Dude, you ruined it.
It's so funny. Yeah, I don't know if you have like concluding thought, like just like what else? Like, what do we do?
We wait for the next episode.
We wait. Yeah, I think we're gonna get the next episode just as like a summary thoughts. Oh, Logan has a crazy theory. I'd like to hear it.
Drop it in the comments.
If you'd like to do something to share with the class. I think we're gonna go into the next episode. We talk to Kinger. it's dark, and he can actually say, we can actually say like, oh, this is what this is. This is what this is. Like, we can actually get the true story. Because if we don't get the real story in this episode, then like, when are we gonna get it?
Right.
Like, we have to actually know the truth at some point. And there's probably some stuff we're never gonna know. Like, and that's fine. But I think that we're probably gonna get a lore dump from Kinger on this one. And then maybe I don't know if we like can form like a plan from there, or what if we're like, yeah, with this new information we're gonna form this plan like a heist movie to get out of the digital circus.
I feel like they can't do the heist thing again because they just did it this episode. That's like what episode 7 was all about.
Right. And I will say, like, partway through the episode, when the little mannequin guy was like, well, my name is Abel, and he like was doing the thing, I was like, I know that this show is better written than that. Like, something is wrong.
Right.
Like, I know that it's not that easy.
It
like,
all felt a little on the nose. Like, it was a lore dump in a unknown kind of way. Like, in an unfamiliar way that the show had never done before, because the show is very particular about how it drops the lore. So it wouldn't make sense for them to all of a sudden just like hard pivot and dump all this lore on you and call it a day. Like, that's not, and I don't think that's what's going to happen next episode either. I don't even think we're going to get all the answers next episode. I think there's some that we're going to have to wait until episode 9.
Right. I hope so, because honestly, like, that's what makes it a good story. So,
right.
I don't know. Okay, Logan said, what if Abel was Scratch?
That would make sense. Cain killed Abel. If we're still going down that rabbit hole, right? Like, following the biblical
the imagery.
The biblical imagery there, you know.
This is why I want a flashback episode, because I'm like, you could show me this and I would like.
Do you think they're going to use a flashback to try and drum up more sympathy for Cain? Because right now, both the characters and the audience are programmed to dislike Cain because of what happened in this episode. Now, the audience themselves are kind of split, because you got people like me who are like, no, leave him alone. Like, he's just a little guy. He doesn't know.
He knows not what he does.
No thoughts, head empty. Like, it's okay.
Right.
And then there's other people who are like, yep, Cain is evil. We got to eradicate him. Like, get him out of here.
Right.
So do you think they're going to try to pull a reverse and get everyone back on Cain's side? Because to me,
I don't know.
Cain's character arc is letting them out. That's his character arc. That I feel like that's what would bring his character full circle, is going from I'm keeping you stuck here, which maybe that's what we find out in episode 8, is Cain is intentionally keeping people here, not because he's necessarily, maybe not because he's programmed to, because he wants to.
Right.
And the program is just, oh, you need to entertain these people. And then he took it too far in his obsession with wanting to know more about people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he got stuck. And Kinger knows that, which is why he hit him with like the Nerf beam. It's like, nope, you don't know anything if you're in the light.
Yeah, you don't get to know.
So then his character arc, because I feel like pretending like Cain doesn't have a character arc here, I think may be a little disingenuous.
Right. I agree.
I think his coming full circle is letting them go and letting them out and being like, you know what? I'm going to let you guys go.
Yeah.
Because this isn't right. I understand. And I think like this episode is a pivot point where he has to reflect and be like, well, why didn't they like that? Like, why? What did I do wrong? Like, and even if you think,
which he'll never actually get.
Right. And if you think he maybe has done this adventure multiple times before, hence why like he didn't really want Kinger involved because Kinger would know that he's done this multiple times with different groups.
Right.
So he might sit back and think, okay, well, not like every group has not liked this. Why? Like, why is this not like, I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so like, also, yes, we are also convinced Kane is not evil. He's just bad at reading humans. Um, it's just, but I think that'd be so sad if they left him there. But I'm also like, but that's my thing too, is I'm like, we can't, like, Kane
There
can't
has to
come
be
with
some
them. Like,
kind of
he's not
stakes.
real. Right. He has to, like, and so my question is Kane, the AI, staying there big enough stakes? Because I feel like he has to stay there regardless.
I wonder if they try to find a way to like finagle him into a phone or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like he can
Like, get
come
him
with
out.
them, but it looks different. Because also,
I don't know if I want that.
I don't know if I want that either, but like just to play devil's advocate, right? Like
Yeah.
if he really like, if we go back to this theme of like the circus providing redemption and rehabilitation, leaving Kane there doesn't make sense because that's someone who's unresolved, unredeemed, if you will. So maybe his redemption is, you're coming with us because we can't leave you here.
Yeah.
And he like gets stuck on a flash drive or something.
Yeah.
And they find a way to get him off, or they find a way to repurpose this into like a normal video game, because like that's kind of what happened with Sword Art Online. Was the girl, like the daughter, was an AI who was stuck in the game, and what they ended up doing was Kirito put her on like a flash drive and then stuck it. Yeah, you wouldn't know because we didn't get far enough for you to understand that
series because it sucks.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying it's good writing. I'm just telling you what happened. He like stuck her on a flash drive that somehow like got transferred from Sword Art Online to the new game when it came out. And like they brought her back, but she was always only stuck in the game. But then they just like kept going into the game. Like they kept playing the game. So maybe they find a way to go in and out of the circus,
like be his friend. Yeah,
like, oh, we'll all come visit you on Fridays,
we'll come visit
or
you.
whatever.
Yeah,
and that's like his
know.
thing. I don't know if that makes sense narratively for what the story is trying to tell. I'm just spitballing here.
You just got to throw at the not the SAO reference, not the crackpot. Yeah, I think that there's also people saying that like people are saying like when he had the little locket and it ended up being a hot dog, and people were like, oh, that's funny, but then they're like, but what if it's like a reference to Scratch because he's a dog?
Oh.
And then there's also in the Spudsy, when they do the Spudsies episode, the hot dog from Spudsies has Scratch's logo on it, on the thing.
Oh, you're so right.
And so maybe, like, I really buy the Scratch is Able theory.
I could get behind that.
I could get behind it because Scratch, like, really is not a character that's super in your face. I feel like he's like pretty in the background. And I feel like that would be a good enough, like, oh, he's there, but he's not. And then it's like, oh, but he's kind of the final piece to this puzzle.
Right.
Is it's like Abel was controlling Kane. And it was like Abel was the developer that went in and created Kane. And then like his own creation like killed him. And like now Kane is just running rampant.
Do you think there's a Garden of Eden parallel here? Where like they tried to make this paradise where nothing goes wrong, and then Kane went out of control and accidentally abstracted Scratch, and that has kind of like opened the door for abstracting as an opportunity now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. You're
Yeah,
never gonna play
I
this
could see
game,
it.
so I can spoil it. But I
Let me
think
hear
about
it.
like Doki Doki Literature Club kind of has a similar premise where you are a player interacting with an AI that knows you're a player, right? Like Monica
Yeah.
is the AI that like controls everything, and even like she goes
Right.
on to delete other characters, but only because she gives herself admin privileges. But if you
Right.
look into all of the deep lore for that game, and there's like emails chains you can read from the like in-game, like in-universe fictional developers of like,
Mm-hmm.
this computer was never supposed to be able to do this. The computer was never
Right.
supposed to be able to know. So like, deep lore dump here, and I really want to make a video about this at some point, if I ever have infinite free time.
Right.
They essentially made 2 versions of DDLC. This all comes back to Digital Circus, I promise.
Right.
They made 2 versions. One, which was the Paradise type, where nobody knew they were in a game. Nobody knew that they were game characters, that they were created by an outside force, whatever. Like, they were made to stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the other version where they just told Monica that she was a game character created in a game, and you're interacting with the player, and then that's the version you play through as the game, and you find out at the end that when you get rid of Monica, Sayori moves into that spot, and that's like the cycle continues, because in the other one where none of that happens, it's normal. Nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
It's the Paradise version. But then in this other one where you introduce this concept of like
One of
God
them
status,
knows.
if you will,
Yeah.
everything starts falling apart. And it's this, if you think back to like the Garden of Eden, it's this like paradise, nothing goes wrong.
Mhm.
And then you introduce this concept to one person, and then everything kind of spirals out of control from there. So it makes me
Right.
wonder if Digital Circus follows a very similar pattern of like, Kinger was there, Scratch was there, Kane was there, like it was this perfect little,
this perfect paradise.
this paradise that was meant to be this game where people could escape to, and maybe there was a noble, like there was some noble intention, like, oh,
Right.
we want to develop this for like cancer patients, or like that kind of stuff. Like there was some good intention there, and then something happened where Kane accidentally went too far or did something wrong, and that opened the door.
The exit. Yeah.
Right. Like he fiddled with some code because he was like, oh, I think it'd be funny if we did this. And then it like shuts off the exit, or it opens the door for abstraction. So I just wonder if that's part of it too.
So would you say that maybe all the players are connected in the way that like maybe they're all terminally ill, or maybe they all have like even seeing the circus as a place for rehabilitation, I wonder if if they complete their character arcs and they come to a point where they are like, I guess if they could all complete their arcs and get over their archetypes, like Jack said in that one episode, if they could get over their archetypes and really become who they are supposed to be, maybe if that's true, there's a point where Kane is like programmed to be like, you did it. Like, this was the whole point.
Right.
Was for you to get over this. Now you're free to go. And so I could see that theory working, because that's the thing, like, that's the thing about every good cult story is every cult thinks they're the good guys.
Right.
Is like you don't, unless you're like, there's a difference between cults and terrorist groups. Like cults don't think they're doing anything wrong. Like where it's like they don't exist to cause harm. They exist to, they're like, we're going to give you a family. You're going to be, part of our group. We're going to give you a title. We're going to give you something to live for. And I think that that's kind of what Kane is trying to do, because that's what he says about the adventures. He's like, oh, they're simply for your pleasure. He's like, I'm going to give you something to live for. I'm going to give you, and it's also not like, they're living in terrible conditions. Like they all have their own rooms, and they all like, they have their own spaces, and like they don't get to choose those things is what's interesting too. Is it's like they don't get to choose their names. They don't get to, well, I guess they kind of do, but like not really. They like don't remember their names, and they don't get to like choose their characters, and so it's like this interesting mix. And so I really do think that that is a valid theory of like this is a rehabilitation thing that like got out of whack.
Yeah,
And it was like this was
something
for
happened
good.
that was bad.
Like this was for good. And now it just spiraled. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Golden said Scratch is also the same color scheme as the tan colored fish, which also goes back to this is me and my brother. I think there's something there.
I think there's something like you
Everyone
can't bring
thinks
up
these
the brother.
fish are so stupid and gonna just be for the little meme and blah 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 blah.
But it's like, but I'm also like, did Kane make those fish? Like, were they part of the adventure?
No, I think
like,
they were just
when
out there.
did the adventure start?
I think the adventure started when Pomni started interacting with Abel.
Okay.
But also, it's funny that he talks about how like this has been the one that he's been setting up for so long.
Yeah.
Of like we always wondered like why is that NPC hanging out in the background? Like did one
Right.
get away? Like what is this?
Right.
And it's funny because he makes a joke to Zubul about like, you hear that, Zubul? The Toy Box character wants us to leave the other intelligent AI running for a prolonged period of time. Disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Disgusting.
So it makes me wonder, like, if he's so against letting the AI run like that, then why did he leave Abel going for so long?
Right.
Like, was this his penultimate adventure of, like, we have to keep upping the stakes, and now it has to have more of an overarching plot or whatnot? But he also says at the beginning, he's like, you guys should go out and explore other places, which also, I think that's also up for grabs. Like, maybe they go, wasn't there like an amusement park?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, we did the beach episode. How about a carnival episode?
Right, like maybe we go to the carnival now. Or maybe the carnival is like the
like-
final boss. Like
Right. And I mean, it's like the circus. So it's like,
right.
you know, maybe this is like the final thing is it's like this is the carnival, the circus. It's like, I don't know. I think it makes sense narratively. Also, like carnival episodes are always kind of the bomb. Like I also think about like Stranger Things. I think it was season 2 when they had like that final fight at the carnival.
Yeah.
When it was just like, Logan said, my best guess is that abstraction powers NPCs. Because think about it, Gummy Goo was super smart and in depth right after Cosmo abstracted.
I thought Gummy Goo was like super in depth because like they glitched
I'm sorry. That was so freaking funny. This is a better rehabilitation story than Has Been Hotel. A Raising Cane's Caniac combo with extra tested Texas toast is a better rehabilitation story than Has Been Hotel.
Well, here's the thing. Not to sidetrack, I'm going to come back to what Logan said. The reason Has Been Hotel falls short as a rehabilitation story is because Vivzy Pop wanted to use the lore from Christianity, but did not want to adhere to any of the rules. And when I say rules, I mean the fact that, like, you want heaven and hell, you want angels and demons, you want God and Lucifer, but you don't want Jesus, which is why your rehabilitation story falls flat, because it's this massive cross-shaped hole where you're like, but rehabilitation is possible for sinners. Like, that's the whole point of the gospel.
Right.
So, like, your story is missing that, which is why it will never be anything more than Reddit tier atheist slop.
Right.
And she's written herself into a corner where, like, if you add Jesus in like a season 3, well, what was the point? Like, what was the point of the other 2 seasons? Like,
right.
So that's my side tangent about Has Been Hotel. I like every like 6 months I get just a little tempted to be like, I should just watch it so I can make a video. But then there's the other part of it that's like, it's not worth my time. Like there's so many better things I could watch. But no,
Yeah, I think that's pretty based, actually.
I was pretty sure Gummy Goo was only like super in depth because him and Pomni got like glitched under the world. And he like kind of had that fourth wall break where he sees all of like the stuff and his like thing.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Because that was a collision accident on like the truck like collided because that was like a game error.
Kane is about to be hunted in the next episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, what if they just get the guns?
Give us
Like,
the
have
guns.
we
Here's
tried-
guns. Have fun. I didn't
Have
say
we
have fun.
I didn't say have fun. Have we simply tried to kill him?
Have we
I
simply
mean,
tried
I don't
to
know.
shoot Kane?
Also, like, his office was so dope. Like, I want to explore his office more. Like, it was
I wonder
like
if maybe
Dumbledore's
that's
office.
the meeting place.
Mm,
Is like they're just gonna walk back out of that room and stand in his office because those little like snow globe things were all the different adventures they'd done.
yeah.
So I wonder if like that's gonna be our flashback.
Right.
Is like we kind of hop through these different adventure memory bubbles and just like keep going that way.
Right.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be opposed. I would not be opposed because I also understand like you don't want to do like, oh, here's 25 minutes of flashback. Like you could even just get little snippets from the snow globes and tie it in together that way.
Do you think do you think any of these episodes break 40 minutes? Like these last two?
I hope that the finale is like an hour. I know it probably won't be just because asking for an hour of indie animation is like
expensive,
a lot.
but also like
But if someone was gonna do it,
Digital Circus
be
is their
them.
most profitable show, I think.
like
is
if
what I've
someone was gonna
heard.
do it, it would be them.
I truly believe they are just digital copies of their mind and there will be a bittersweet ending. I guess that makes sense.
Christmas Carol type episode.
Because if
low-key.
they're just like digital copies of themselves, then they can't get out. And maybe that's the thing is like it's bittersweet because it's like and maybe isn't this what you said you thought was like they got sucked in?
Yeah,
And it's
I
like
thought
a
they got,
copy of
like-
themselves. Hence why the chair was
Yeah.
empty.
I always was assuming that because if you do the Sword Art Online thing, it's like your physical body is still there. You just can't.
Get back to it.
You can't get back to it.
Maybe
like
there's
you're
some
mentally
freaky
there.
like spiritual magic where their souls are been sucked
I
into
don't
the
know.
game
I
and their
I
bodies
think
have
that
decayed and died and that's why they can't escape because their
Do you
physical
think-
bodies aren't there anymore.
Do you think that it would be a satisfying conclusion to essentially just let the digital versions die and then their physical versions just kind of move on like they never knew? I don't feel like that would. I feel like there's got to be a better conclusion than that.
I guess that's true.
I don't feel like a mercy kill is the best way to end a story with these characters we've been so connected to.
You know what we haven't considered? I think let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me look for it. Words to describe Digital Circus episodes. Episodes described in one word. If you could describe all the following episodes, so that how many are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is after episode 1. So episode 2 was boy. 3 was damn. 4 was oh. 5 was haha. 6 is guns. 7 is huh. 8 is oh. And then 9 is what? ... Which follow me here. Follow me here. Something we haven't considered or thought about. Season 2.
Oh.
And they're not getting out. and there's more to this story than just what happens in episode 9. None of that has been signaled. Like, unless there is a huge, like, rug pull bait and switch at the end of episode 9 that's like, boom, season 2.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want the show to keep going, because I think the novelty of it is it only needed 9 episodes to tell the story that Gooseworks wanted to tell. But
yeah,
it's not out of the realm of possibility, unless I'm missing something.
Unless they at one point have said. My thing is, like, even if they have said it's only 9 episodes, that doesn't mean that they're not going to do a season 2.
All right,
so
can I follow?
I don't
the
know.
link?
I'm just like, part of me is like, if they didn't plan a season 2, I don't want one. Like, I don't want it to drag on for the next 3 years because it's really popular and it's a really profitable.
So
I feel like the show could be even more profitable just by letting it live as its thing.
Ah!
You know?
Okay, hold on. My thing just started playing. Stop. There we go. I'm trying to get to this YouTube short. So Goosework was asked if there's a chance Digital Circus could be a season 2, and she said, I don't really think there could be a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is what she had to say. I'd like to expand on this to say Glitch is very accommodating for the vision of the artist. Liam and I are in a really fortunate position to be able to end our shows on our own terms based on the stories we want to tell. The times and places our shows end are 100% our own decisions. Murder Drones was in no way canceled because of Digital Circus. It ended because Liam felt like he was finished with the story. Same for Digital Circus. I could probably stretch the story out and have 5 seasons of filler episodes if I wanted to, but I would rather have each episode have some kind of meaningful character development and not waste people's time with filler.
That's so
base. No season 2. Never mind. We lost. That theory was shut down already. And you know what? I have so much respect for that. Like,
right. Oh, absolutely.
I have so
like, you're
much
making
respect
the number
for
1 like animated show and you just cut it off because you're done. Like,
yeah.
phenomenal.
Like you told the story you wanted to tell. I respect that.
Yeah. Okay. You know what also is really funny is that the Chinese room is actually like a multi-level joke, because the Chinese room is actually like a hold on.
Isn't it like a computer thing?
It's a coding theory, like that a lot of people use for AI. It's an argument that holds a computer executing a program cannot have a mind, understanding, or consciousness, regardless of how intelligent or human-like the program may have the computer behave. And so the argument directed against the philosophical positions, the appropriately programmed computer with the right inputs and outputs would thereby have a mind in exactly the same sense human beings would have mind, but it's just like not true. So definitely if you're interested, read up on the Chinese room theory on for artificial intelligence. I think that's interesting. So,
anyone know if Murder Drones is good? I've only seen Amazing Digital Circus when it comes to glitch content. I don't know, but I kind of want to watch it. Like,
right.
It's on my list of things to watch next year when I have some free time. Especially if it is like a complete story that's done.
Right.
So I will report back when I see it.
Yeah. Is there other stuff like get as good reviews? It gets a lot of views.
I don't know. I just don't hear people talk about it because I'm just not in those circles.
Yeah, me neither. A lot of their other stuff, like Digital Circus, is like unhinged and weird, but I think like their other shows just might not be my style.
Did you see?
Like, it's just.
I don't know if you saw that. I think I sent it to you. Everyone was calling Glitch like the new Disney this week because they told those like developers that they couldn't make a fan game like dating sim because that's not what Gooseworks wanted. And they're like, "Oh, this is the new Disney." And it's like, "Oh,
the new Disney."
It's called being the new Disney when you like protect your copyright or like your IP from being besmirched. Like they didn't say they couldn't make the game. They just said it couldn't be a dating sim. So now they're doing like a platonic visual novel. So it's like this game is still being made. It's like if it was Disney, like all of those people would have been executed on the spot. Like,
right?
They would have been like,
yeah, you're done.
You dared blink at Mickey Mouse, like, to the guillotine.
This is a war crime.
Like,
yeah. Which is so funny because they're like, you can't use our content for AI. That's our job.
That's like, my job. Okay, I'm signing a billion-dollar deal. I love that the like official Glitch account quote retweeted it and was like, "What the f are they doing? Like what?" It's so funny. I'm like, all right, buddy, calm down. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's about all I have to say.
Pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I cannot believe we did another 2 hours on this one episode.
Go. Yeah.
Genuinely is just telling at how good this show is. Like, it is worth the hype wholeheartedly. So I don't know how to end a live stream, so if you want to just,
oh yeah, that's my
thanks
thing.
for watching. Thanks for watching.
Thanks everyone for watching. If you want us to do this again in the future, let us know. Like,
yeah,
doing episodes, or I don't even know if this is like considered an episode. This one is not. It is not a
like a
numbered episode. It is canon, but it's not numbered because the numbering would have been too confusing because we just recorded 168 and like that's 168, but this comes out before that, but so it's just confusing.
It's
so I was like,
thing.
It's just a bonus this time, but in the future, doing live streams like this is a better way to cover things like Digital Circus's new episode, where it's like maybe our 2-week schedule doesn't really line up with covering the episode as its own standalone, or maybe like the standalone isn't enough for its own episode, right? But the live stream, it also gives us the opportunity to interact and be like, hey, drop your theories in the chat, like let's talk about that, let's go back and forth. So we definitely want to do this more. Nerdiest Podcast OVA. Yes, true. It's still canon. It's just a bonus.
Oh my gosh.
So this is definitely something we want to do more next year, just so that every stream also isn't like, oh, we're going to play Fortnite. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like, so that there is some semblance of like, you subscribe for the podcast, you're also going to get like discussion content.
Right.
So
for sure.
Look forward to more of that in the future.
I want to do next stream. I want to play Minecraft Bed Wars.
Dude,
listen,
I'm in. Let's cook them.
I used to kill at Minecraft Bed Wars. So just like y'all, just pull up. We want to do another stream. Hopefully before the end of the year. We'll see what happens. But that's also one of our goals for 2026 is to stream more because we just want to interact with you guys in every way possible. So that being said, if you're not following us on Instagram, the Nerdiest Podcast, subscribe on YouTube. I assume that you're subscribed on YouTube if you're here. So all the links are in the description, merch links, everything. Last episode of the year comes out Monday. Dude, freaking...
It's done. I just have to upload. Upload.
I just have to upload it.
Last episode, I have to upload to Spotify for podcasters, and then I'll be free. Yeah. I'm free.
That'll make sense.
Also, you'll definitely want to be subscribed on YouTube because I don't think any of these live streams are going on the audio.
Yeah.
Now, if they do in the future become numbered episodes, then yes,
we'll add
they'll go up. But like this one is not. This is just a YouTube freebie for all our YouTube people out there.
And if you joined at the end, go to the beginning, and
the stream will be up. Like you can watch the VOD. It'll be great.
So give us
someone in chat did say I want more streams like this on other shows if they're going to be interesting shows. So that's definitely something like if we got something we need to cover,
Hop on live.
we can hop
Hey
on
guys,
live.
I'm just hopping on live to tell you about Digital
We're
Circus.
gonna do it live.
So we're doing it live.
Is it a recap
Yes.
of year episode? Yes, it is our 2025 year in review. Games,
review.
movies, shows, gift exchange, podcast housekeeping that we did not talk about here, which is great because we don't want to spoil any of it for the episode.
Spoilers. Yeah.
So
Really exciting stuff. Keep an eye for Monday. I'm really excited about
Gonna
that.
be a banger.
So it's gonna be great.
alrighty,
So all right, y'all sleep tight now.
don't let the
have a
bed
good
bugs
night.
bite. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, all. Merry
Uh,
Christmas.
We're gonna be
in case I don't see you.
in case I don't see you. All right, everybody say bye to Jackson
All right.
because I got to do the thing. Bye.
Bye. Oh, bye.